Yay Networks.
Welcome to a brand new episode of the Fitish podcast. We're here. We're healthy.
Yeah, as healthy as we can be.
It took me a minute, y'all, after last week's show. I was still struggling for a little bit.
Yeah, I know. Like it lingered longer than it did for Remy and I.
I don't know. I don't know what was going on. I'm not sure what we had, but we're in the clear so far. Candy's in the clear as well. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was something I ate, but I don't know why it would last a week. It was definitely gastrointestinal.
Yeah.
Happy Valentine's Day. Yeah. Today is Valentine's Day. You'll be hearing this after, but Francisco, you were so nice. You booked me a massage for later this afternoon.
Yeah, babe, I'm always thinking about you.
I didn't say you weren't.
No, I didn't say you didn't either. I said I always think about you. No, that wasn't like an arguing to be had.
Yeah, I'm excited. So thank you. I love a massage. You're not the massage type. I like to go, even these days, if you got me a nice hotel massage, which you all know those tend to get kind of expensive. And I told him, I was like, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. I mean, I love it. I love a massage, so I appreciate it. But you know, over time, when you don't want to spend money and you want to get massages, there's a foot spa by the house, and I go to the foot spa, and I love the foot spa. I mean, you do like a combo, you get you can do like 20-minute leg, 20-minute back. It's like $35 or something. It's great. I mean, sometimes it reeks of cigarettes and, you just kind of get through it, but $35 and it's pretty good, So I appreciate the hotel experience will be like fine dining.
Hopefully it's a little better than your foot spa.
Yeah. Fran and I we have to have a lot of communication right now because I don't want to say permanent, but I'm a short-term, long-term passenger princess because I am without a car. I was very lucky. I had a car deal for like 5 years and I had a free car basically to post photos and I don't have it anymore. So I don't know what I want because cars are expensive and I don't care that much about cars. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you agree with me on that. I mean, I like a nice car, but I don't think I like a car enough to spend a lot of money on a car. Hello. That's not a beer, by the way. You're drinking an energy drink.
Yeah. Celsius.
You shouldn't shout out names that aren't paying for sponsorships.
Correct.
Speaking of endorsements, yeah. Anyway, so I don't know what I want, and Fran, of course, is searching. Even though you just got a car, we're looking around. But I'm a passenger princess right now, so it takes a lot of communication, which is definitely Fran's strong suit.
Oh, we're getting a car today.
If you want 2 car payments, go ahead. Yeah. I'm not paying for it.
Don't worry about it, babe.
I'm not ready yet. Why are you getting another car today?
So you don't have to deal with me during the commutes.
You've given me 1 ride. Today made 2 rides this morning. Last week was the first ride you gave me to the podcast at the office. Now this is the second time, and you were on the phone the entire drive. So I just sat there.
Not the entire.
Well, almost, but what did I do? I'm a great passenger princess. I just sit there, do stuff on my phone. I kind of like it, actually. I don't want to drive around. I don't like driving anymore, but it's so funny. So Fran, we're trying to kind of decide what sort of car we want, but yeah, it presents problems not having a car, especially when you live in a big driving city. But I realize how much I don't drive. I don't like to drive. I work from home 3 days a week. Yeah, I like to take Remy places, but my mom lives with us. So I have her car. So I take my mom's car when I need it. Yeah, I don't really see what the issue is. I mean, I'm going to get a car. It's not that I'm not going to get a car. But I don't know why I have to get a car right this second. Like I thought things could be fine for a few weeks, 3 weeks or so.
Cool. I think you're right.
But every day Fran talks to me about some Tesla that he wants to get. And I'm like, but I don't even think I want to drive that car. Like, I don't know if that's the car that I want. Or I guess I would take Fran's car and take your car payment, right? Is that the plan?
We'll figure it out. And the most important thing is that you're happy. And it's Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I am happy. I just don't want to get a car today. I was like, why do we need to spend like $800, $900, who knows how many dollars a month extra for like a few more weeks? You know what I mean? Like, let's just prolong it and see.
That I'm fine with that.
Do they offer any car deals around this time of year? It's probably like such a shit time to get a car. But you know what? I do have to drive. I've been driving my mom's car, y'all. And I don't know if you saw, I posted a TikTok the other day. I don't think my mom listens to the podcast with everything I'm about to talk about. I don't know if she listens. We should have her on sometime. I don't think she listens. I don't think she has the time to listen. I don't think she thinks about it.
No, for sure. That busy agenda. How can she fit listening to the podcast into
She watches our child like all day, every day for the most part. But today's one of her days off. And Friday's a day off. But I have been driving her car a bit. And this is a nice car. I got this car for her a couple years ago. It's a nice little SUV. And so I'm driving it to my Fitish. We had a big event at Virgin Hotel. We're doing a collaboration with them the other night. And I'm driving the car. And I'm like, what's going on with this mirror? The side mirror is duct taped on. She's like, I told you about that. I was like, yeah, I mean, I remember she told me about it at some point. I didn't realize like it still hadn't been fixed and like it's just hanging, you know. So obviously, you know, you get that kind of, you pull up to valet and I just want to be like, it's my mom's car because it just looks like trash. Like the mirror's just like hanging off.
Like the door closes with a zip tie.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I was like, Mom. So yeah, she wants me to keep driving her car because I think she knows the longer I drive her car, I'm going to get it fixed for her because it's going to drive me crazy to have a duct tape mirror on.
And that's just the one aspect of it.
One aspect of the car.
Yeah.
Well, it's fine. You know what? A car that's safe, that gets you from point A to point B is fine by me, right? It doesn't have to always be the nicest thing in the world. I think as long as it's like safely, it's good for Remy, you know, I'm absolutely fine with it. But I think that's how we change, isn't it? Before I had a child, I used to dream of like all the nice cars I wanted to have one day. And now I'm like, it's fine.
That's something I was talking about. I think that's when you start growing up, because that's something I was talking about a friend. Yes, I've been thinking about doing that, like getting a Tesla. I think I love technology more than I love like a brand car. We'll see.
Tesla is a brand car for sure.
Yeah, no, but it's not a Porsche. It's not a
Mercedes,
Maserati.
yeah.
So it's not something I have had in the past. Like it's something more efficient. It doesn't have noise. Doesn't have
It's
a rumble.
quiet. It is. It's quiet.
But it's fast as fuck. Crazy fast.
Great, Dad. You want a car that's
But
fast as
anyhow.
fuck?
Well, I want anything that is fast as fuck. That hasn't. I'm still alive. I still have a heart that beats, you know, and that likes to beat fast. So,
As he says in his mock neck turtleneck that he's wearing today.
so what I'm trying to go with that is that I was talking to a
He's like,
really
I'm a
good
dad.
friend.
He's like, I'm a dad on
He's
the
like-
outside.
That's like the important things is to make things more efficient, not more complicated.
Yeah.
And I feel that at this point, like that sounds like the efficient thing to do. Avoid gas stations, which I absolutely hate. Like
I hate getting gas too. I think most of us, I mean, who loves getting gas? Are people out there like, I mean, I love the smell of gas occasionally, but like, does anyone love
like when you're depressed and you put it in a bag and you start inhaling.
Oh, you know, it's like those weird chemical smells that you love, Sharpies, tar, gasoline.
Have you talked about that with your counsel?
Huh? With my counsel? Who's my counsel?
Yeah.
A counselor?
Yeah, counselor.
No, I'm not huffing gas out of the pump. I'm just saying every now and then I like the smell of gas. I like the smell of a freshly tarred road more, but
What happened with like a fresh smell of mowed grass, like some like that natural?
oh, that gives me allergies.
Oh, I love
Mowed grass?
Like when they just cut the grass.
I
Isn't
get
that
itchy.
like beautiful?
I get itchy just thinking about that. Oof.
And the only place I like to get gas is in Mexico because they pump it for you. They know their shit.
There are still some self-service stations.
Yeah, that they double the price.
Yeah.
In Mexico, it's the same price and they pump it.
They wash your window though.
Also, they
extras thrown in.
They
They wash your windows in Mexico when you tell them not to, and then they flick you off when you tell them to walk away. That's what happened to your mom and I that day when that guy flicked us off. He just like out of nowhere, like walk by the car, squeegeed it real fast one time, and your mom's like, no. And she like shooed him away, and then he flicked us off. And it was like, hey man, like we didn't ask for this washing at the red light.
In Mexican, you know?
Huh?
That's high in Mexican.
The middle finger.
It's like cool.
Oh, that's the hand signal for hola.
That is like
I'm sure it is.
Long gone an insult.
So, something interesting, I say interesting, we don't talk a whole lot about family drama on this show other than, our own real family drama.
I was about to say, what is enough?
Well, we just don't talk about it much, and I think it's hard, right? I think that I'm just going to say this, and I like to think that it's so easy for me to say y'all agree because you don't actually have a voice right now as we're speaking, but every time I hear about family drama or you see it on TikTok, everyone has that family member, right? Everyone has that family member. Everyone has the family drama. And my family drama, there's a lot, or I say drama, it's more like I don't have a whole lot of family. And my mom some years ago had some really serious issues with her sister. And she's just, I want to be I don't want to say all the things as usually I just kind of say everything I want to say because I just don't want to go there, but just not a good human, right? Just not a good human over the years. And I think what's been really tough for my mom and I in the last decade of our life is that my mom was always, as a lot of you know from hearing stories about Candy, she has always been like the most generous, especially, when her and my dad were married and they started like doing better in life. My mom was always overly generous, so much that it can be a flaw, I think. Helping her sister out, giving her a car totaled, so ungrateful, all of those kinds of moments in life. And then when my parents went to get divorced, there was some identity theft in there, that kind of white collar criminal scam situations going on. And it was just really garbage because obviously it really affected my mom's credit and some really bad things happened. And, but when my parents got divorced, my mom fell on really, really hard times. So hard that at the time I had just started working on the radio. I didn't even know exactly what was going on. And once I kind of figured out how bad things had gotten, of course I stepped in and was trying, ever since then I've tried to do my best, as I at the time wasn't making much money, just doing whatever I could to help her out along the way. And it really sucked to see that like all the family, that my mom had helped, and you and I were speaking about this with your own family as well, Fran. It's almost like when family's not there when you need them, and I think that happened a lot with my mom in the last decade to a point where she doesn't have any communication with any of them anymore. So much so that a therapist even told her, like, you got to get out of this hole. You need to grieve your family. You need to cut them off and be done with them because it's been really unhealthy for you. And it was really upsetting, though, for my mom. She always wanted to have close family, and then divorcing my dad, and she kind of lost that whole side of the family, which she loved. His sisters that all live in South Carolina, she loved them so much. But, you get divorced, you don't see family as much anymore at all. And so that was like the hardest part for her. Anyway, so it's been just really, really hard. And my mom's come a long way. And so we were like, we kind of have our own family now. We have our own sense of family. And then when we were in Mexico, something happened. And my mom was crying and she called me, and now it's kind of brought a bunch of family stuff up again. So much so that we're about to have to go somewhere and do something and maybe see a lot of family, but I'm going to tell you about it and get your thoughts on it after we take a quick break. This podcast is sponsored by 4 Wellness. Y'all know I struggle with supplements, and that's why I don't talk about them all of the time. 4 Wellness has been so nice. It's in my coffee right now. I love when things are convenient. And I think some of the other kind of powdered drinks I've tried over the years that you have to mix in water and do this sort of thing, I just don't love it because it's not natural to me to drink something that way. But I do drink coffee every day. Frankly, I drink about 2 cups of coffee. And 4 Wellness has so many products that have made me feel a lot better and taste good because I can just throw it in my coffee. But 4 Wellness is a functional food brand, and they have a very unique range of snacks and supplements, some of which I've tried, mainly the good stuff, which has 5 key ingredients: L-theanine, collagen, MCT cinnamon, and Himalayan salt, right? So this is going to help you with the, ditching the very unhealthy coffee creamers and other kind of sweeteners that I always have liked to add. But For Wellness was founded by world-renowned performance coach Dave Phillips. So he's worked with some of the world's top performing athletes and saw that they needed some supplementation in their diet to help them perform better. And this is just a simple, delicious way to get all of these extra nutrients. Something else that For Wellness sent us that we've loved are these superfood focus bites. So this is a snack that looks and tastes just like a little chocolate brownie, but it has nootropics in it. If you're like, what are nootropics? Lion's mane, mushroom, and cacao. So, of course, this is great for inflammation and your gut health. They also have some tart cherry recovery gummies, which help muscle soreness. They have coffee pods. So many great functional products that I've been loving. Just check it out for yourself, especially if you're a coffee drinker. It's time to give For Wellness a try. Head to forwellness.com/Fitish. Use the code Fitish for 25% off your order. Once again, that's forwellness.com/Fitish for 25% off. And make sure you use the promo code Fitish in there so they know I sent you. What a great time for me to talk again about Ritual and what an important role Ritual supplements have played in my life. You, of course, know that I was a big fan of the daily multivitamin for women. I used the prenatal and postnatal throughout my pregnancy journey. Symbiotic Plus became a product that I started utilizing all the time as well. This, of course, supports gut health. And after traveling, what havoc that has wreaked on my body. And the Symbiotic Plus, which I had forgotten to pack with me when I went, that would have shown me some really good support. I immediately got back on when I got home. I can probably attribute that to why I've been feeling better. But just little daily disturbances, which you may not even realize, from a poor diet, changes in your diet, stress, travel, the use of certain medications. There's so many other day-to-day factors that can really throw off your gut health. And this is where Symbiotic Plus is such a great add-on to your Ritual subscription. It's a 3-in-1 supplement with a clinically studied prebiotic, postbiotic, and probiotic to support the relief of mild and occasional bloating, gas, and diarrhea. And when I returned from Mexico, I was so excited because another Ritual package had shown up. That's the best part of this, right? That every 30 days, like clockwork, because it is your subscription, you're going to get, your vitamins, your Symbiotic Plus. If you've added that to your subscription, they actually included something new in my order that Fran and I have been trying out. And it is a Sleep Bio Series melatonin. Oh my gosh, how great. I love something that helps me get a really natural, calming, effective night of sleep. Anyway, Ritual is where it's at. I always have told y'all, swallowing pills can just be the worst. And I've never had an issue with Ritual because they're all, they're time release and they're coated. They all have a nice flavor, whether it's the lemon coating or mint. So you're not going to be tasting the vitamins all day long. I absolutely love it. No more shame in your gut game. Symbiotic Plus and Ritual are here to celebrate, not hide your insides. Get 20% off your first month for a limited time at ritual.com/Fitish. Start Ritual or add the Symbiotic Plus to your subscription today. That's ritual.com/Fitish for 20% off. Welcome back to the show. So as I was telling you, family drama, but I don't even know if you know this. And that's why I don't know if my mom listens or not. Because I hate divulging so many things that happen. And I know you can just kind of take my word for it. But this, what happened almost 10 years ago, I had to pick my mom up from jail. And she hadn't been arrested. But she was helping my grandmother who lived in Dallas at the time. She had moved up here, and her sister, my aunt, was also living there. And my grandma was kind of losing her mind, medically speaking, that's the correct terminology. And my mom was, her husband had passed. My mom was trying to help my grandma get her finances in order and maybe sell her condo and, do all of those things that you would do with someone elderly who's suffering from dementia. And sister drama, crazy. I don't know. I do not know what happened that night other than speaking with the police officer who took my mom. But like my aunt had put cigarettes out on my mom, and my mom was like screaming hysterically. My mom's aunt, my aunt called the police on my mom, like basically created this whole scenario, when I know in my heart of hearts that my mom was just trying to help and didn't do anything wrong. And obviously I'm sure got really emotional and really upset. So the cop had told me, like, she's not arrested, but like when there's a domestic issue, someone has to leave. You know what I mean? Like, we have to break it up and take her. So yeah, I had to go pick my mom up. I mean, she never had to go back to court or anything. I think they were just like holding her there to separate them or something. But needless to say, I had been watching like Narcos at the time, and I think I was like kind of stoned, and I'm like, oh, this is a nice Friday. You know, I mean, I'm in my mid-20s. I'm like, this is a nice Friday. And I was like, my mom, like, I got to pick up my mom from jail. Like, what happened? And our life kind of changed at that point, because I realized just how bad things had gotten with the family drama. And so cut to now, obviously Candy's in a great place, but throughout that period of time, it was really hurtful for her to have had some family, whether it was, you know, taking the sister's side, or my grandma had gone crazy and my mom so badly wanted to fix the situation because she could see what was going on. And I just kind of said to her, I was like, you got to let this go. You know, we got to work on you. You've completely let your health and wellness go. The therapist agreed, which was so good. And so, you know, a lot of years and a lot of therapy and a lot of work, and she's in a great place, and she has not talked to any of these family members since a lot of that went down. She heard when my grandma died a couple years ago. We didn't go to the funeral. I mean, this was her own mother. She's like, you know what? I already grieved her, and, you know, she wasn't really there anymore anyway. So, you know, that happened. We heard about that. We haven't talked to anyone. And then when we were in Mexico, my mom gets a phone call that says that
Who called her?
her uncle called her to let her know that her aunt, who was essentially, which I didn't even really know, but my mom didn't have a great relationship with her own mother. You know, her dad died when she was 15. That was really traumatic for my mom. And my grandma remarried just a really mean, terrible guy. I mean, I just really didn't like my grandfather. He was just...
It sounds like that's the story of that era.
He was racist. He was mean. I remember being horrified coming to visit Dallas from Ohio. I remember him, you know, he was so racist that he would try to like explain to me as a child the difference between a black person and the N-word. And I remember going, I mean, I went to a public school. Like, seriously, half of my group of friends were black. Like, in being in Ohio, it was just way different. You know, it was not that kind of Texas. I know, I hate even saying this aloud. This is not going to make the highlight reel. But I knew at the time, even my mom was like, he is terrible. You know, my mom hated him, but they got married right when my mom was 18 and she was out of the house. Anyway, I know I'm telling y'all everything. So I never liked him growing up. I was never around him a lot. I really just I just knew all that was wrong, you know, but how do you change how an old racist person feels about anything? You know, I mean, we weren't around him that much. Like once a year we would come down. So he died years ago. And, yeah, my grandma just kind of lost her mind. And so anyway, her uncle called and said her aunt died. Well, my mom was very, very upset because my mom's aunt, I knew that my mom loved this aunt and she hadn't spoken to her in years after all of the drama. But my mom said that aunt to her was more of a mom than her mom ever was. That especially like as a child would take her places on the weekend and was just so loving and so good to her. So I think it just brought up a lot of emotion for my mom because she feels guilt. She hates that she just doesn't have any family anymore. And apparently, yes, she got cancer 3 months ago and it like just boom, really fast. So she didn't know. I think she kind of wishes that someone had told her so she could have visited or said something or done anything, and she didn't know. She saw it. I'm sorry. She didn't get a phone call. She saw it on Facebook, a post. And then her uncle had called her and they spoke briefly. And so the funeral is somewhere outside of Sherman, and we're going to go this weekend. And I told my mom I'd go with her, which basically made her cry. She's like, you'll go with me? I'm like, yeah, of course I'll take you. I mean, I don't want her driving that far. And also I'll go because I'm about to fucking throw down on some of these crazy family members. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the concern. And one thing I can share with you, just so you know why I'm so angry, is when I gave birth to Remy, I get a text message from a number I didn't have saved in my phone. And the text message, I think I told you at the time, the text message, after reading it, was very clearly from my mom's sister. And we have not seen or spoken to this woman in 7 or 8 years. And she told me oh, Jenna, I love you so much. I'm so happy that you're expecting a baby. So clearly she didn't know I had already given birth. And I don't know how she has my phone number, whatever. But she's like, just so you know, I've reported this whole situation to Child Protective Services because the child should not be around your mom. It's for his own good. I hope you understand. Fucking psycho. And obviously think about being postpartum, getting a message like that from some psycho garbage trash family member, and you are holding your newborn child. And I didn't want to tell my mom because I knew my mom would just be so scared. She would lose her mind. What's going to happen? Da, da, da. And I'm like, nothing's going to happen. I mean, even if someone does report someone to CPS, this woman doesn't even know where we live. She doesn't know anything. Even if CPS came to investigate, as I would hope they would if someone files a claim, I think things would check out. So I decided to kind of withhold that from my mom for a while and I ignored the message. She sent it again a few days later. I ignored it and blocked the phone number. So nothing ever came of it, but there's a very good chance I'm about to see this woman at this funeral. And I swear, ugh, man, this is going to be one of those white trash funerals, right? Where like you may see that I get arrested for fighting with a family member at a funeral.
And you want to go.
No, I don't want to go. You think I want to go?
But is your mom really want to go?
She's going to go whether I go or not. And I need to go to protect her.
What's her goal of going?
I mean, Fran, I think, I don't know. Like, I'm not my mom, but I do know that it's important to her.
Goal? But what
do you mean her goal? I don't think people have a goal at a funeral. You go to pay respects. No, I think you go because there are family members she likes.
You go to a funeral for a couple reasons. Because someone that is alive, still very close to you, and you want to give them like comfort. You want to be there for them. But is that something like, is there someone that is alive that your grandma wants to see in that funeral?
If you died, I have no goal going to your funeral. That fucking sucks. I don't want to have a funeral. I don't want to go to a funeral. I don't want to be there, but it's part of what you do, right? I mean, that's the fucked up tradition about funerals here. Like, it's sad as shit. I don't want to go. I don't want to go because fuck the rest of that family that treated my mom like shit,
Correct.
But what do you mean? I don't understand why it's an issue for you. That's kind of weird.
I'm just saying, like, if there is all this foreseeable drama that could happen.
You really think I'm going to get in a fight with a white trash relative? I'm kind of kidding. I'm just talking about it. Like, I'm going so my mom doesn't have to drive with her broken mirror an hour and a half by herself. You know what I mean? And I don't want her
No, that's what I want to understand. Like, what would be... Yeah, I get the whole funeral thing, and I get that your mom wants to go.
This was her number one favorite relative of her entire life. Her favorite family member that died.
Correct.
Right. So
She's
what's
dead.
the question?
She's not there. She's not in the funeral. She's not in the, like...
Well, that's why she didn't go to her own mother's funeral, Fran. What does that say?
Correct.
Right. But this person, she said, feels more like her mom. So would you not go to your mom's funeral? Because she's dead?
I will go to my mom's funeral if my dad is there and my dad is super heartbroken. I'll go for my dad. I'm not going to go for my mom. My mom is dead.
Okay. Then don't go to your mom's funeral. I don't understand. Like, I would expect a little bit of support, like, instead of criticism here.
I'm not criticizing. I'm just like, if there's a foreseeable issue, I would avoid it for sure. But especially with someone that has threatened you to call child supportive services.
You know what? I'm just going to support my mom because I love my mom.
And that's very admirable and respectful. My question is...
It's not my dream to spend a Friday in the car for 3 hours going to a funeral for a family member, like, that I don't even really know. And I don't like how my mom, how that played out. But I don't really think it's not about me at all. Do you know what I mean? That's the thing. Like, none of this is about me. And I'm just kind of putting my own opinions and feelings aside because it's super important to my mom. And I'm gonna go with her because I'll be able to speak with her. She's gonna be super emotional. I don't want her driving for an hour and a half by herself on either side of it, And I'm I think that there's a chance there are family members that she likes, Fran. I mean, there are
Good. That was my question. I didn't know if she still
that's why
had
she
any
was so-
family member that she liked out of that side of the family.
Yeah, probably the uncle that called her, people in general, you know?
Good.
So
Well, that
I
now
mean-
I understand.
I'm so glad you understand. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, you're going to be out of town anyway. So, no, it's just important. I think sometimes you do things when they're important to family. But yeah, anyway, so it's awful, right? I mean, it's awful. I mean, it is. It's lame that we even have to spend the time and the energy to go, you pay your respects or whatever we do here. I mean, I hate funerals. Who loves a funeral? Funerals are sad. Funerals are often, I'm sure, filled with moments. I mean, those are those family reunion moments, right? Where as people get older, I'm sure a lot of you have experienced this too. The only time you ever see a family member is maybe at a family member's funeral, right? There's always drama in families, I think is the point of that. And I think, yeah, it's just difficult. But obviously I'm going to go with my mom because it's meaningful to her. And and to avoid the drama. I was just kidding. I don't really think that I'd get into an altercation with a family member. But if it came down to it and I have some garbage human putting cigarettes out on my mom.
Well, there's a gun in the console.
What, of your car?
Oh, but you're taking your mom's car.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't worry. I'm not pulling out a firearm at a funeral. That's not my
needed.
No. Okay. Well, on that note, we see how Fran feels about the funeral. So we're going to take another quick break and talk about some lighter subject material when we come back. BetterHelp is a sponsor of the Fitish podcast. And now that Fran mentioned it, it does seem like I should touch base with a therapist. I will say BetterHelp has been so wonderful to have as a resource at various junctures in my life. I know Francisco used it personally. We never had a lot of conversation about what he spoke about because, of course, that's private between him and his therapist. But when we were having some relationship issues, he sought therapy there. My mom has utilized it, of course, for various needs in her own life. And I mean, isn't that the thing about therapy? You should have it for someone to speak to about your problems. And it doesn't mean that all your other family members are going to know about it either. And there's something about BetterHelp for me that feels even more private than in-person therapy because when you go somewhere locally, not only, it's time consuming, it's expensive. You're usually getting a recommendation from a friend, right? And so they know that you're going. That's just not the case with BetterHelp. You can literally go there right now, take a short fill out a short questionnaire. They're going to match you with a licensed therapist that specializes in, the area that you're seeking help in. And again, you can have a session. If you don't feel that's a good fit, you can get assigned a new therapist, and it's all from the comfort of your own home or office. You can do it from your computer or from your phone. You don't even have to have your video on. It really alleviates all of those other excuses for why you don't want to get therapy. So if you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online. It's convenient, flexible, suited to your schedule. Again, it's just a brief questionnaire. It will take you 5 minutes or less, and you'll get matched with a licensed therapist. And you can switch therapists again for no additional charge. Whether you're looking for a soulmate or not, become your own soulmate. Visit betterhelp.com/Fitish today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Fitish.
So stop with the funeral talk. I am so sorry. My point of view, it's very different from anybody's. Like, I really think that you don't go to a funeral for the dead. You go for the people that it's still alive. And that was my main question. And I think you answered it. And it's very admirable what you're doing for your mom and what you have done for her, for sure.
Thanks, babe.
Absolutely.
What do you have going on?
Where to start? Well, very busy in Austin.
Yeah.
I'm going to be there at the end of the week. And we have been very successful. Hopefully we finish selling that before the summer. So we're excited about that. What else? Pretty much that has been absorbing a lot of my time.
Brian and I have been discussing still the expat life of where we'd like to live and, toying with some different places. And I don't know about Mexico City anymore. The more we think about it, I think the biggest issue that I have is I can't sell my products there. There's so many issues with the legality of marijuana. Obviously, in Mexico, we have certain licensing, but it would be like trying to ship something from here to California and all the states it has to go to. Like if it was legal here and legal in California, but not in Arizona, whatever other states you pass, you get the point on the way to California. It makes it quite difficult, right? And so that's kind of the issue I face there. So, I think a lot goes into weighing, if you were to make a big move as a family, where would you move? Where would you move? Where would you like to be? We've kind of, Puerto Rico popped up just because we have between some people we know that live there and which could be a nice option. I mean, it's not something I ever considered. Obviously there's some really great tax advantages to living there. You don't pay income tax. So, you can save quite a bit of money every year by doing that. Now, obviously, a lot of people have taken advantage of that. So certain things are more expensive there. And there's and it's still a U.S. territory. So it's not like I'm abandoning America.
Good. I like that patriotism in you today.
Yeah, it's still a U.S. territory.
Not like our last episode. This is my patriot fiance.
It's hard to be a patriot of a place that you don't feel like roots for its own people. Do you know what I'm saying? All this patriotism, when sometimes I feel like, we joke that, they're feeding us to get us sick, to then treat us like medically. And we kind of talk about all of that. Friends going to the pantry the other day. He sees Remy eating Peter Pan peanut butter and he goes, "No, this has the most forever chemicals." And my mom had bought it. Like I used to be a creamy Jiffy and now I do healthier peanut butter, I guess, when I do it and just like add my own sugar on the side.
So I saw my kid enjoying this peanut butter. I saw a video like he was licking his hands.
I have to post this video for y'all. He's going
entire hand.
He's like, and I love food. I love food.
Whatever he's eating, it's not healthy. Like that, I know for a fact. Whatever he's eating is not healthy if he's eating it like that. And I don't know. I think I have become a Nazi when it comes to Remy just because he's the most important thing.
No, I agree. No, I understand. It's funny, isn't it? Like we'll sit there and eat Girl Scout cookies at night, but we wouldn't want Remy to eat one right now. We're so hypocritical as parents. Are you hypocritical as parents? He's like, sucker cookie.
We also smoke weed at night, and
I'm like, no. I think people gathered that from the Girl Scout cookie ingestion. I think you could leave out the pot smoking and they're like, I see.
I like to give
Fran out of nowhere. I swear they came out from under the covers last night. I came into the bedroom and I was like, where are the Thin Mints in the freezer? He's like, gone. Where are the
we had those Smurfs.
We had Smurfs, the s'mores ones, gone. There are some Samoas which aren't a good batch. The Samoas aren't as good as they used to be. And so I'm laying in bed. I have no idea where they came from. Fran literally reaches under the covers, whips out these little lemons, and whatever they called. What are they?
So good. I don't know, but I was like getting
frosted
some
lemon
stuff
cookies.
at Central Market yesterday. And of course, they're like a freaking bear trap.
Oh, yeah. You can't make eye contact with the Girl Scouts.
Well, eye contact is all I know.
Yeah.
So,
what do you mean?
Like I'm a personable person, I like to.
You're in
connect.
sales. You're in sales.
Yeah, I like to connect. So we made that contact. I was like, so what's the good today? What is the fresh bake that you have here? It's like you have to try this lemon. It's like say no more.
Do they have samples?
They don't have samples. You don't need samples.
The Girl Scouts, what happened?
$3 cookies. Like, how are you going to ask for samples?
First of all, I think they're $5. They were $1.75 when I was selling.
Yeah, baby, it was the 20s.
I did okay. I did okay with the sales, but I my mom wanted me to sit up at the grocery store, and I was like, Mom, no, let me go house to house. Like, I can't,
I think we were just the laziest. So we never had Girl Scout cookies, but in the school we used to sell like chocolates and stuff to help.
Yeah,
the
because you
school.
couldn't go house to house in Mexico, right?
Yeah, we could, we did. But so, of course, we're so competitive as a family in general. And we used to have these competitions. Like there was like a rank and you get a prize, like the stupidest prizes.
You
like,
were in the Girl Scouts.
not in the Girl Scouts. It's this like something to help your school, which you already paid a tuition. None of this makes sense to me. But my dad used to buy them all.
I think that's normal with a lot of even Girl Scouts. I think people will just write a
we
check.
had so many freaking chocolate, and I think the price was like a boombox.
I feel like my mom and dad at one point bought a ton of cookies, like 200 boxes, and then I sold them. Do you know what I mean? Then they wanted me to sell them.
Did you mark them up a little because it was off season? Like you keep them when there's no cookie season? That's actually
I didn't have the business savvy. That's a good idea, though. I mean, do you know what would work so well is the Girl Scouts need to go to the college campuses, right?
Yeah.
Sit outside the late night food places. I'd have my little Girl Scout working at 1 a.m., 2 a.m. when the bars close.
Yeah, get outside. Yeah, exactly.
Wake up, honey. We're selling Girl Scout cookies outside the bars tonight. Yeah.
Yeah. Put that skirt a little shorter. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Fuck off. He says that. Could you imagine him with a daughter? Oh my gosh. I feel like she'd never be allowed to leave the house. I'd be scared of you with a little girl. The way you are with Remy, he's already almost bubble boy.
Oh my! The things that he's tough, but he's going to grow in his toughness. Like he doesn't have to be in the wild just yet. But he'll be a tough boy.
I swear, yesterday I'm in the kitchen. Well, Fran was in the kitchen cutting steak. And you step away for a second. He's on his little tiered stand. He's standing at the island. He eats there sometimes, or just, he's emotional support when we're cooking. And Fran runs to the restroom, I guess. And I was like not momming at the moment, really. I had been over on my computer at the kitchen table. So Fran was with him and stepped away. And I look over at Remy, and he had come out. I guess y'all had been in the bedroom together. He was playing with one of my hair clips, right? So, you're like, I'm looking over. I'm on my computer. I'm looking at him. I see him throw the hair clip to the ground. And I'm kind of like, Remy, he's in a big throwing phase right now, which, I mean, he just like hit me with a plastic bowling pin in the eye during the Super Bowl, and I was certain I was going to have a black eye. I don't know why he's throwing stuff so hard. So that's a whole thing we're dealing with. And I swear, it's hair clip to the ground, and then all of a sudden I like look over. He has a giant butcher knife that he just like whips to the ground. I don't even know where it came from. You had been cutting a steak, I guess, but where did he get it?
The butcher knife was in the sink. How he got it is he climbed on top. He climbed from his little step.
No, I was there. I was
the
watching
counter.
him. He didn't.
He grabbed it. It was on top of the frying pan.
He reached then. Yeah,
So
he was able to reach.
And grabbed the knife. So when I got in, he just threw the knife.
Fran was like, what happened? I go, well, first of all, I don't know, because I thought he was kind of watching him. I didn't know Fran had stepped away. But, it's the point is things happen so quickly. And I think so many people are so quick to pass judgment on parents in general, because, yeah, if you can't take your eyes off them. Quite 100%. Literally, you can't. I mean, that's how Fran feels. I want to be more lax about it. I mean, I try to be really good about I don't really leave stuff like that, around. But the point is they find it and it happens and it's so quick and we're so lucky. I mean, that happened one day. We got in the shower and I think one of my razors was on the ground, and we step in the shower and within 1 second he grabs the razor, and like, luckily, I mean, he cut his finger a little bit, but he had just grabbed it to pick it up. So of course now, everything is as high as possible, and it's just little moments, things happen. So yeah, take it easy on parental judgment, because I mean, it's happened to everyone, right? Like, it's not just us. We're just the ones that talk about it. It happens to everyone all the time. I'm still getting so many comments every day. I can't even open my Instagram on that photo. I'm just, who leaves a cup like that? And da-da-da-da-da, like rookie mistake, bad parenting.
I have to say, of course, I'm not a influencer celebrity like you are, but
what do you mean?
I have when people pass judgment on my DMs, they're so sweet about it. Like, they're so nice. Even that girl that commented on my smile.
Let's talk about it.
So I posted that story with Remy smiling, and I was smiling. And he's like, I think you'll be, or your smile will be even more beautiful if you wear braces. Like, fuck off. So I have an orthodontic appointment tomorrow.
It was my burner account. No, you know what? I am glad this happened to you. I am glad this happened to you because obviously it's still on your mind. And I know you don't care that much, or you say you don't care that much. I think
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what. Of course, I don't give a fuck. Why would I fucking care what a girl that I don't know say about my smile? Like, there's nothing to be caring about.
Nothing to be caring about.
Of course not.
Yeah.
No.
I think what's really hard, I don't know why you preface that whole story with I'm not a celebrity influencer, because I'm not that at all. You know, I'm a radio host that built a following, turned now like business owner. So I wish I had been better.
Sounds like a celebrity influencer.
I wish I had been better at influencing. And I'm okay. It's funny because, you know, Fran, especially when that video for me started going so viral, and y'all are still sending me, you know, other parenting accounts are posting it. I mean, it has 40 something million views, which is insane. Of course, I'm getting as many comments still on a daily basis as I did in the beginning. And of course, these are pretty negative. It doesn't bother me that much, but there are moments where I decide to clap back, and I don't know if that's the right idea or not. I usually tell people, just ignore it. I mean, that's crazy that someone would DM you something, especially like, what are your thoughts on that, right? This is a really sweet moment between, you know, we're choosing to share our life here and there. I tend to be pretty careful, and there's so much, of course, as I'm sure all of you have of your own kids. I want to share.
I take it as constructive criticism, you know, because she was actually sweet. She prefaces like, "Your smile is so beautiful, but it will be even more beautiful if you fucking fix it."
Yeah. It's hard when people criticize, whether it's your appearance or the way you talk or your personality. I mean, I dealt with a lot of that over the years. When I first joined the show, people hated me. You know, people hated change. We had this message board and it was awful. I mean, people would just say the worst things, very cruel, from superficial things. And Kid, you know, the host of the radio show I was on, used to tell me all the time, which I would see comments bother him here and there too, when they would comment on his appearance or comment on something he felt insecure about. It's natural. It's human nature to have days where you don't feel great, and then some stranger just comes and shits on your desk, and you're like, "What are you doing here? You know, what are you doing here?" But
yeah.
But he said to me, he goes, "A stranger's opinion shouldn't matter," and I think it's easier said than done, because your opinions do matter, right? I mean, in a way, you can't take, and I used to say, you can't take 100 positive and then ignore the negative either, right? So he would say you kind of have to rule out all the positive and negative if it's coming from someone that you don't know. And it's just hard, right? Because of course you want to take the positive when people agree with you or they compliment
I guess
you.
when you're in the day-to-day of that, gets so tough, and it's anything. It's easy to say when you're not in that aspect, because my train of thought is, you have, let's say, 1 million listeners and you get 10 fucking awful messages. It's like, there are fucking 10 messages out of 1 million listeners. Like, there's 10 idiots that have nothing else to do than bash you and be anonymous in their bashing, you know?
And it happened. Yeah, the anonymity on the internet is just insane, because, you know, I'm sitting here putting out my photo and choosing, and, you know, social media for me has been wonderful. I know a lot of people hate it. I get it, but I'm not going to sit here and hate on it, because it's built a career and a life that I wanted for myself. You know, I'm able to connect with you and show you my products and get your feedback. And I love that part of it. It's really nice to get feedback from the customer. It's hard too, because I'll have a Saturday morning that I get a DM from someone about their bottle broke or their dog ate their lip game and they want another one, and I've opened the message and because it is me, by the way, I do some Fitish. I have someone else help me with that, obviously, but I do my own and people don't always believe it. But, I can't get to every message, of course, but I want to connect with you, but it's hard. You have to deal with that. But I tell myself every day, this is what happens when you have an online business and people support you and are following you. You are going to get negative feedback about things. And hopefully, I just screenshot it and send it to someone who can resolve it for you quickly. Since I don't do as much of the back end stuff anymore. But I know I hate to say I'm glad that you got insulted, but that moment for me, I know that it bothered you a little bit, which is healthy and normal and fine. And I think it's important because it's been hard for me over the years when I have had those few days where I'm having a bad day and I'm getting shit on by strangers on the internet and I comment back to someone. There's been a couple of times that I've just kind of like laid into someone, obviously. In a nice way, right? And friends like, what are you doing? Why are you even giving it the time? Da, 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 da. And I think it's easy to say from afar when it doesn't affect you very much, right? It's easy to sit there and say, oh, just ignore it, right? It's easy to give that advice. But every now and then it strikes a chord and like, I'm not going to let someone get away with this bullshit, bullying someone on the internet.
I only get into it if I need it, Like, let's say I have a shit day at work or a shit day with a client. And of course, I cannot lay it down with a client because it's a client. The client is always right.
Yeah,
so someone provokes me.
You kick the dog. That's what that expression is. You understand that, right? Like you get kicked all day at work and you go home and kick the dog.
No, I don't kick the dog. But if someone is trying to kick me in the nut, like he will get the wrath.
Yeah. The older I get, I realize how unhappy you must be, right? I mean, you got to be pretty unhappy as a mom or as a person in general to go out on the internet and criticize a stranger for their appearance or for anything. I mean, we have better things to do than that. I've never done that. I've never just been on a stranger's page and been like, you're ugly. Like, I don't know. It doesn't serve me. I don't feel that way either. I don't have those thoughts. So I just tell myself, I guess that's what's so disheartening, isn't it? Like people are pretty unhappy. A lot of people are really unhappy, and that's what's sad.
I'm sorry about all those messages that you used to get. Like I didn't know you then. I didn't like you all that much in the radio, so I used to comment on.
Oh, I thought you were actually going to formally apologize for not being more supportive when I got mean messages. You're joking that you sent them. Yeah.
So, and I didn't take that as a mean message, the smile thing.
We're still talking about it. Y'all notice we're still talking about it 10 minutes later. And this happened a week ago. So, he's been thinking about it every day.
Well, babe, I have to bring content into the table, okay?
Are you thinking about Invisalign?
No, I'm actually thinking about just taking all my full dentures out and putting a new one.
Oh, these are your dentures. You just got them kind of...
Cricket, so they look natural.
Cricket. Yeah, so they're just more authentic.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Don't laugh like that covering your cheek. No, I can't. It's giving me the full ick. Okay, well, on that note, thank you for joining us today. And we will be back with a brand new episode next week. I hope everyone had
Thank you for listening.
Lovely romantic Valentine's. And here we are, almost through February. What do we have to look forward to?
A lot of babies coming up in 9 months.
We'll see you next week. Bye.